Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk. Back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our Let's Talk Arsenal preview show, where we look ahead to the next Arsenal fixture, get the thoughts of our members from our Discord server, and predict how we think Arsenal could be lining up, or how we would like to line them up this weekend. To do so, I'm joined, as I said, by a few of our members from the Discord server. First of all, it's Lewis. How you doing, mate? Are you well? Are you good?
I'm good. How are you, Tom?
Very good, mate. Very good indeed. Good to have on the show as always, fella. We're also joined. It's been a while, but he's back. It's Mr. Bellerin himself. How you doing, kid? You well?
Yeah, good. Good to be back. Missed you. Yeah, happy. Can't wait. And Arsenal finally winning.
Yes, yeah. It's. I mean, since you've left, Arsenal's kind of form's turned around. So I'm hoping that doesn't have a bad bearing on tomorrow's game.
Yeah, I'll never be on again if we lose tomorrow.
We'll have to wait and see. We're hoping that Dan's going to join us in a bit as well, but we're going to crack on with things. Lewis, we'll start with you. Everyone's kind of already looking ahead to the Liverpool game after the international break and looking at this Watford fixture as a pretty much an easy win, which is a very dangerous way to kind of look at a game. How are you viewing it?
I don't think there's no such thing as an easy game in the Premier League. Just ask Everton when they turned up against Watford a couple of weeks ago. But I think how well we've been defensively, I think that helps us against because Watford are only good in attack when they get going. And I think we mark ourselves, we do well defensively, we'll have enough to crack them open at the other side. So expecting a win.
Fingers crossed indeed. Kian, how are you feeling about Watford? Are they a team that concern you in any way, or are you hoping for a comfortable victory?
To be fair, normally I wouldn't be concerned, but because of the performance against Everton, they can turn it on. And the fact as well, with Ranieri being their manager, he did some amazing things with Leicester as well. So you can't really knock them. We can never know what we can expect in the Premier League.
No, you can't. You certainly can't. Hello to everybody that's joining us in the chat box. So good to have you with us, saying hello to the panel as well. Let's hit those like buttons, please, if you haven't done so already, and subscribe to the channel as well. There's a couple of kind of instances in this lineups, and I know, Lewis, you've selected an interesting one at left back. We're going to come on to that when we look at the teams in full detail. But I don't know if you've had a chance yet to kind of watch back Mikel Arteta's interview that he conducted this morning. But he's speaking very confidently kind of about the process and about kind of his situation at Arsenal and how it was always his dream to be Arsenal manager. Where are you sitting now about Mikel Arteta at this moment in time?
I suppose I benefit from not being on a public platform like yourself, Tom, where you have to feel like you have to align in an in or out camp. But I don't think I was quite ever in the Arteta outside. I always felt there were, don't get me wrong, underwhelming performances, but I think the weight of the challenges he's had most managers would struggle, let alone a rookie on the job. And I think now we're starting to see some of the fruits of the labour. You see how happy those younger, impressionable players are on his coaching and his man management. And we're starting to see not the very best of them, but shoots of real promise on the pitch. So long may that continue. And if he is, then, I certainly wouldn't be looking to change the manager anytime soon.
Kian, do you think Mikel Arteta has officially turned the corner with these 9 games unbeaten, or do you think we're still very much on the curve of turning that corner?
I think we've turned the corner in the sense of he now knows his 11. He knows who his players are, like who he wants to play. And I have to hold my hands up. I was never part of the Arteta out camp. I think Arteta, his transfers, the way that he wants to play, we finally have an identity now, that he has the players that can show exactly what he wants to do. I think he's the man for the job, and I couldn't really see anyone else come in to make us better than what we are.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I love that you're both sticking the knife in on me. It's great to see. Appreciate the fact that you ain't hiding behind my shadows. It's wonderful. Let's crack on with your predicted lineups then. Lewis, we start with yours. Talk us through it, fella.
Pretty much it's the same kind of lineup for the last couple of weeks, except Tierney's played, and I would have Tierney in over Tavares. And that's not. I'm attempting to say it the proper way, but especially on TGT. I do have a view of the Liverpool game in mind. I think when I look at Tavares' enthusiasm and buccaneering style is great and could be really useful against Watford. I want to see some minutes in Tierney because we've got to play Mohamed Salah the game after next, and he needs some experience being Arsenal's left back, working with Emile Smith-Rowe in front of him. Because if you throw him in cold, he'll play for Scotland, but you're going up against the world's best forward at the moment, without a doubt. So I'd let him have the run, and then the rest of the side.
Think you maybe get enough minutes from the Scotland fixtures, or is that not enough?
I don't think you get as much technical security because he plays inside that sort of left inside centre back. I think the way we'll have to play, we'll have to rely on him building a fairly quick relationship with Emile Smith-Rowe. And I think whilst it would be great to get those minutes will be useful, I'm just concerned that you either play Tavares, who's not had anywhere near that kind of a test as yet in the Premier League, or you throw Tierney in with no minutes playing for Arsenal, and neither of them seem like a good situation. And Tavares' time will come because he's been excellent. But I just think with Liverpool around the corner, we really need to get our most sound defensive left back getting minutes when he's playing up against the best right forward in the world at the moment.
Fair enough. There's some people agreeing and disagreeing with your point of view in the chat box. Jonathan says, fair point, Lewis. I do think Tierney needs some minutes against Watford, but off of the bench. Hovik pointed out that you have a legit beard, which I think is a dig at me more than anything else. Clarify says, can't KT get minutes in the national team? Obviously, you've explained that point there, but Nico disagrees. He says, don't rush Tierney if he's not ready. Let's have a look at Kian's lineup. Kian, why did you go for this one? Is that...
Oh, that was a good one. Good one. Very good.
Talk us through this lineup, mate.
That was very well played, to be fair to you. I believe in the last pod, as Amir said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's why I'm not even going to try to say it. Nuno is on left. But to be fair to him, Ramsdale's nominated for Player of the Month. He came in, his distribution, his shot stopping has been incredible. Some amazing new right back. I don't know who the last fellow was, but Tomiyasu is very well. Yeah, when I was at the North London Derby, he just was insane that day, and ever since he's just really shown he's worth the money we paid for him. Nuno, I get what Lewis is saying with future minutes against Salah, who is the best player in the world at the moment. But I think, can Nuno not play against Salah? He has the pace to keep up with him. Tierney's pace could be lacking due to the injuries. I would bring him on off the bench, as well as another player that I'll get onto in a minute. But I just think for right now, he just needs to stick with Tavares and ESR, because even the last game, their passing was insane together. They linked really well together. The two wingers, I like it. Saka and Smith-Rowe, unbelievable. And it's the chant that's getting everyone going at the moment. Lokonga and Partey are really cementing that midfield, and Lokonga getting called up to the Belgian squad. His confidence is sky high at the moment, so let's just keep it there. Oba, Laka, I want to see that handshake after every goal. They're playing so well at the moment. Oba's pressing. Finally, I've said it for so long that they need to start pressing the goalkeepers and pressing defenders, because they're putting people under pressure. And again, it's working. I would love to see, I know people in the comments might go against me, but I would love to see Martinelli up there with Laka, or taking Lacazette off after about 60 odd minutes to see what it's like, because Laka is going to leave. So let's see how Martinelli gets on with Oba. But other than that, I just think this team at the moment is winning. So let's stick with it.
Fair enough. I can't disagree with it. I think that Martinelli does need minutes, and the African Cup of Nations is going to be an opportunity, I think, for him to probably get some more, with both Pepe and Aubameyang going off to play for their respective nations. So that could be the period that we see a little bit more of him. Throwing in my 11, I'm the same. I said that just stick with what we have. I think that I was tempted to throw, like Lewis did, Tierney back into things. I just think that Tavares is on such good form right now that it would be a little bit harsh, I suppose, to drop him. And I feel like with Tierney maybe not 100% ready, let's not rush him back and have him in that game against Salah. I would play him against Liverpool without a shadow of a doubt. People keep bringing up, they're like, yeah, but Tierney's played against Salah before and has been ruined. But yes, he's got that experience. Tavares' defensive abilities are still yet, in my mind, to be tested. Like, he's not yet been tested. He could be tested quite well this weekend against Ismaila Sarr. So we'll see how he kind of defends against him. We were supposed to be joined by Dan. I'm hoping nothing terrible's happened, but we'll throw you his lineup that he did send in. Interestingly, he went very differently. He feels that we should be dropping Aubameyang at this point, and Ødegaard coming into the number 10 role as the only main choice. So that it's an interesting take, and certainly one that I would have loved to have had an explanation from him, but hopefully we'll find out what's going on with Dan in a little bit. No idea what's happened to him. All I do know is that he met up recently with Mike from the Gooners pod, and that probably does have something to do with it. No hints about that whatsoever. Let's go to our final part of the show, which of course involves you guys in the chat box as well. It's prediction time. Get those into the chat box and we'll go through as many of them as we can. Lewis, we start with you. What's your prediction for tomorrow's game?
2-0. I'm thinking we'll keep the clean sheet, and I reckon we're going to see Aubameyang get on the score sheet and maybe one of our Haylenders pick up the other one.
Oof, Smith Rowe or Saka. I'm going to push you, mate. I'm going to push you. Who's it going to be?
I'm going to go with Smith Rowe. I think he's got a little bit more of a cutting edge touch he's showing a real sort of knack of. I heard the Arscast call him quite Parisian in that sense. Just arriving right. Parisian as opposed to Parisian. But
I was thinking, I'm sure he's not French.
Is it like Paris and not from Paris? But yeah, that kind of knack of just being able to arrive in the box in them central areas despite him playing out wide. Yeah, I think, Ober and Smith Rowe.
Just checking now where Robert Pires was born, and if it was not in Paris, but it wasn't. It was in Rennes in France. So he's not a Parisian. So that would have been very difficult to come across as. Kian, prediction, scorer?
I'm going to go very bold. I want Arsenal to go out there. We're at home. I want us to prove doubters wrong, and I want to show that we're here for the long haul. I want a 4-0. I'm going to go 4-0. Wow. And Scores. Both Haylenders, Saka, Smith Rowe, and I'm going to go Partey and Oba.
Partey with a goal. That's a turn up for the books. I mean, to be fair, Dan Robert usually throws in a Ramsdale scorer prediction, so maybe that's why he shied away from the show. He couldn't face the music of coming up with that on the live there. So there you go. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Omar says 2-0 to the Arsenal. Mick says 3-1. Jacob says 3-1. Alpha says 5-0. Maximus says 3-0. I'm hoping these are all to the Arsenal. I'm assuming that they are. Wilson says 3-0 Arsenal. Hovik says 3-1. Andy Harding says 2-0. Anthony says 3-0. Greg says 4-0. Jonathan says 3-0. Aubameyang, Tommy, and Partey to score. Nico 4-0. John 4-0. No Sleep says 3-0. The confidence is just on a different level, people. It's great to see. I've said 2-0 for the last couple of shows that I've been on. We talked about this with Harry on the Canton and Simu show over on the Chronicles of the Gooner, which, by the way, has just gone up on audio platforms on TGT side of things too, if you wanted to listen to it. But I'm going to stick with that. 2-0 for me. Scorers, I think I said Aubameyang and Smith Rowe as well, Lewis. So I think we've got. Did you say Aubameyang?
I haven't even had a chance to catch up on the Simeo Canton one yet. So good minds think alike.
Clearly so. I mean, I think it is. It's going to be a tougher game than people are making out. I think that Kian, your fantasy land is a word that you're living in, but you never know. We'll see. I hope you're right. Yeah. Mate. I really do think that we'll have a dominant kind of home performance, but it is going to be a lot tougher than maybe people are making out. And it's important to stay grounded because it's not a free hit game. It is certainly a game that we need to take very seriously. And I think that was certainly something about previous Arsenal iterations, that we went into games like this quite arrogant with an expectation that we were going to win it and then drop points silly. So we need to make sure that we don't do that. Thank you ever so much, guys, for tuning in. Chat box, you've been fantastic. Please do give some love to my panel. Lewis, always a pleasure, everyone, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, Tom.
No worries, fella. Kian, always a pleasure to have you on back on. It's been a while, but it's good to see you again.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having me back on again. Thank God. Let's hope we win tomorrow, so I'll be back on again.
You can find Lewis on Twitter at the Ilford Pele. Kian, you're still not on Twitter, no? Or
No, I am on Twitter. It's just I haven't put it on because no one follows me anyway. I don't really
Well,
post.
tell people where to follow you and they'll follow you.
So it's at Reardon_Kian. So yeah, if you want to see any diluted art and stuff, I'm probably there.
There you go. I get confused with the amount of my members that don't have Twitter out of defiance. So that's the reason behind it. Lewis has broken the duck, though, and gone through and committed for some strange reason, but he's there. So do give the guys a follow. You can find us at the Gooner Talk TV as always. Do drop a like on today's video and subscribe to the channel if you are indeed new around here, and turn those notifications on so you never miss a show. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the next 8 a.m. show, and then we'll be joining you later on tomorrow evening to react to Arsenal's fingers crossed win against Watford. See you soon. Have a fantastic evening. And as always, up the Arsenal.